have the Scottish Fiestas race number 1. Conditions are drying. It's pretty much dry. If you wander off the racing line, it's a little bit greasy. But on pole position is the number 1 car of Wayne Macaulay, where he is used to being all year. Pole position, doing a great job. Second place, Kevin White. And again, these two regulars at the front. But in third place, we have the 51 machine of Chris Melford. Chris was a regular in this championship last year, moved to the Mini Championship this year. He's continuing to race in the Minis, but he's back for a run in the Fiesta, and he's qualified third. So a great qualifying from him as well. I'll hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through their first race of the day.
Thanks, Joe. It is indeed Macaulay from White and Milford, with Stephen Ward fourth. XR2 pole to Jim Deans, ahead of Barry Farquharson, who's top newcomer. Liam Robertson next from Gavin Butterworth and Stephen Gray. Ian Hart 10th from Alec Townley and Gordon Haston. Then Chris McNeil and Graham Cuthbert. David Taylor and Robert Kerr complete the qualifiers, but sadly Alec Townley and David Taylor unable to take the start of the race. Taylor having problems and Townley getting caught out in qualifying on those, unfortunately, so we hope that they'll be back very soon. Lights are out though for round 7 of the Scottish Motor Racing Club Fiesta Championship, and it's Wayne Macaulay, the double champion, that leads them down Duffus Dip for the first time. Second place is Kevin White. Oh, and a spin! That's Liam Robertson in the white ST, takes the spin, doesn't collect anybody, thankfully. So Jim Deans leading the XR2s there from the black number 18 of Barry Farquharson. Then Gavin Butterworth in white, the light blue car of double champion 2 in the XR2, Stephen Gray. So up to clock for the first time, and it's Wayne Macaulay from Kevin White and Chris Milford, and this is the view from the 4th place car in the XR2, Stephen Gray, one of the front runners of course in the XR2s, and he's going to be very disappointed with 4th place on the grid in that group. Challenge on for second position. Milford was looking round the outside line of Kevin White. White's won the last 3 races in the championship, 3 wins apiece for White and Macaulay so far this year. Macaulay winning the opening 3 races of the year, and then Kevin White taking over from round 4. So I'm guessing that Wayne Macaulay probably pretty happy that Chris Milford here is involved in the mix and keeping Kevin White busy. It could allow Wayne to get away. Well, having said that, as they go through Scotsman, it is the number 7 car that's actually closer to the leader than the 3rd place car is to P2. And we'll see what Chris Milford can pull out of the bag. The Edinburgh man, as you heard Joe say, doubling up in the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. Good to see him out here in the Fiestas. And these STs have been running now since 2009. The XR2s, of course, have given us great value for money since 1996. And always a staple of racing here at Knockhill Circuit, which is drying out here, as you can see, in race number 1 for the Tin Tops. And up the hill we go. Macaulay still under pressure from Kevin White. 4th position, the black and green car of Stephen Ward. Then Jim Deans leading the XR2. Deans not getting away at the moment. And battle on for second position. It's through on the inside line, Barry Farquharson reclaiming second place from Gavin Butterworth. So the view from the 4th place car is going to be the same as it was on lap 1 now, and basically that's looking ahead to the white car of Gavin Butterworth. The light blue car is our onboard camera car when we get some more footage from that, but they're over the brow down the hill into Duffus. Jim Deans has got a good lead at the moment. Jim having won the opening round of the year, one round class anyway, in round 1, rounds 3 and 4, and hoping to try and get back on terms here. Here's the view from Stephen Gray. Clatters the curbs on the chicane and goes up towards Clark Corner. Very uncharacteristic to see Stephen Gray down the order, won round 2 of the year and a double in May. So a little bit out of things at the moment, but as you can see, doing his best to try and close down. Really good to see that we still have this action in the XR2, still very evenly matched. We've got some great drivers in this class as well, and you know, they'll either stay in the championship, as we've seen Stephen Gray do, or maybe move into the STs, or perhaps up into the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. So here's the view then for the scrap for second place. Chris Milford goes a little bit wide in his chase of the number 7 car, Kevin White. through the chicane. Milford's just trying to work out if he can go through. And I said earlier in the race that Wayne McCauley would probably be pleased to see these two scrappy, because it would allow him to effectively start to concentrate on his own lines, not worry about being defensive and pull away. That's exactly what McCauley's doing. Of course, there's nothing to say he wouldn't have done that anyway. He set the pole position time by over a second from Kevin White, so he's had the pace on his own anyway. But of course, races are always a different matter. But let's see whether Milford can now deal with Kevin White in second position. They're climbing up the hill again, and Milford following the man in front line for line at the moment. He's not really close enough to have a stab as we go back now to the battle for second position in the XR2s. And back into second has gone Gavin Butterworth. So now Stephen Gray looking at the rear end of Barry Farquharson, who's going to have a look up the inside line and try and get the position back. Here's the view from Stephen Gray, who's having a challenge now. And Gray, this is to get back on the XR2 podium. It looks like he's managed to do that. Had a very good run out of the hairpin, but Farquharson's having none of it and goes back in, but lunges through down into Duffer's Dip. Is he going to hang on to it? He does. On the brakes, defensive line into Scotsman corner. Fantastic racing from the XR2s. So Stephen Gray really being frustrated in his attempts to get back onto the podium. Remember, he's a race winner in the XR2s this year, three-time race winner. And now we've got to change. Chris Milford has gone up into second position. Kevin White's down into third. And the race leader, Wayne McCauley, is away and down the road. McCauley crosses the line again. Quick look back. Here's Graham Cuthbert. Graham was on the podium for the XR2s in round 4 at the beginning of May, and Graham in this one at the moment I think is 5th position, Graham Cuthbert. And the 98 car is Gordon Haston, another newcomer in the championship, and Gordon's been in all the races so far this year. Had a retirement in round number 1, but put that behind him, and he's finished all of the races since then. Let's hope we don't put the curse of the commentator on Gordon Haston in 98, the man from Alloa. But as you can see, they've got some company coming up behind them. Wayne McCauley, the race leader. Wayne won't want to interfere with this little scrap in the XR2s, but equally will want to get past as quickly as he can. Here's the view from Kevin White's going back for second position on the inside of Chris Milford. Has he got that done? No, he hasn't. He didn't quite get the run. He kept it very, very tight on the inside line, coming out of the chicane, out of the hairpin, and goes up over the hill, and it's Chris Milford that hangs on to second position. This is absolutely going to help Wayne McCauley's race chances and also the championship points as well. So Milford hangs on to second. Great race between these two. And now you can see Kevin White takes a wider line into Scotsman, a little bit more momentum on the exit. Wayne McCauley on the way then for his 4th win of the season. He'll break clear of Kevin White. White with 3, McCauley with 3 so far. And it's the reigning champion looking to make it 3 ST titles on the bounce. Rory Bryant, of course, did 2 titles in 2011 and 2010. Wayne, I don't think, will be the first treble champion in the Scottish Fiestas, because, of course, Alan Keith won 3 on the bounce in the XR2s, 2000 to 2002. But McCauley very much the star of the day at the moment, and he comes out of the hairpin and will climb up the hill to take the checkered flag for the 4th time this season. There is the checker. Wayne McCauley wins round 7 of the Scottish Fiesta Championship. Chris Milford second. Then it's Kevin White. Ian Hart crosses the line in the red 47 car. Ian's down in 10th place. Through across the line as well go the 2 guys in the XR2s, Graham Cuthbert and Gordon Haston. We also saw Stephen Ward come through. There's Jim Deans, who wins the XR2s, and up into second has gone Stephen Gray. So Stephen Gray takes second in the XR2s from Gavin Butterworth. Barry Farquharson winding up 4th in class. Liam Robertson just crossing the line now in car number 12 after that gyration on the first corner. He recovered well. So here's confirmation of the result. McCauley from Milford and White. Stephen Wood 4th from Jim Deans, who wins the XR2s from Stephen Gray. Gavin Butterworth 3rd in the XR2s from Barry Farquharson. Then Liam Robertson and Ian Hart. Graham Cuthbert next from Gordon Haston, Robert Kerr and Chris McNeil.
Wayne McCauley, well done. Another ST win. It's so predictable these days. You're doing a great job stringing together these consistent wins.
Yeah, well, I was surprised to actually come away with a win there, because Kevin goes that really well in the dry, and I mean, I think it was like the third lap or something like that. I got a really fast lap, and I thought, well, this is it, the chance when I've got a wee break, and I thought, well, if I don't make any mistakes, I'll be able to keep this, and we managed to go on till the end and win it, so it was really good. Not easy to lead with this massive wind that we've got heading towards the hairpin when the cars are shaped like a brick. It's when you get to the front, it's really hard to go. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't feel any difference, but I mean, because I got a lap time I think was close to the lap record, so I'm hoping, but I don't think it was. But one slippery Fiesta, well done. Yeah, thanks. Chris, well done, welcome back to the podium. This is exactly what you wanted. At the start of the programme I said that you were doubling up this weekend, Fiestas and Minis. Not an easy thing to do, but they're reasonably similar, I suppose.
Yeah, both front-wheel drive cars. The Fiesta's got a bit more power. The Mini handles differently. Different conditions as well. But it's first podium, first time here, and hopefully many more. I'll be at the season. I'll be here for the entire season. So
finishing the Fiestas.
Finishing the Fiestas. That's right. Yeah.
And continuing with the Minis.
Continuing with the Minis as well. Yeah, that's right. We're doing 2 championships to hopefully progress to something else.
Jim, well done, tightening up the XR2 Championship, one of the oldest championships that we've got, but just as competitive, only 5-point lead in the championship now.
That's right, yeah, we're equal going into this meeting, and with the first place, that's put my 5 points in front, so it's interesting to see what happens in the next race.
How are you finding the wind out there?
Wind didn't really seem to have any effect, actually. It's good to dry out the track, so the track was drier than I expected it to be, and yeah, there was a lot of grip out there today, and I managed to pull away, and the 3 cars behind me were doing a battle we're both battling for second place, so it was great. I just got on with my own race.
Well done. Fiesta's race number 2, and again continues to be dry conditions here, a little bit windy but not as bad as it was earlier on when Wayne McCauley, the man who starts again on pole position here in the number 1 car in the green Fiesta, back on pole position. He won obviously race 1. Second place, Chris Melford. Now Chris qualified 3rd. Second place in race 1 means obviously he's going to start on the front row alongside Wayne, and Chris, having had a disaster in the mini race number 1 just a minute ago, he is going to be hungry to turn today around, and I know he's out there to try to win. Kevin White as well, 3rd place. You can't count him out in the dry conditions. I'll hand it to Richard and he'll take us through the Fiesta 2nd race of the day.
Thanks Joe. Wayne McCauley then starts on pole. Chris Milford alongside with Kevin White 3rd, Stephen Ward 4th from Jim Deans, XR2 pole, ahead of Stephen Gray, then Gavin Butterworth and Barry Farquharson. Liam Robertson is on row 9 with Ian Hart, then it's Graham Cuthbert and Gordon Haston, Robert Kerr and Chris McNeil, followed by Alec Townley and David Taylor. A couple of non-starters. Once again, David Taylor not getting his car fit for action, so he'll be an interested spectator. Countdown well underway here, and clouds overhead which don't look too great, I've got to say, but we'll see how the race unfolds. Wayne McCauley goes well from pole position, so too does Chris Milford. Kevin White's got a bit of work to do from 3rd place here. XR2s have gone away well, and it looks as if Jim Deans is safe and sound in the lead there, just ahead of Stephen Gray. Deans, as you heard at the end of race number 1, with a 5-point lead now in class. That's the difference between 1st and 2nd, because he was tied on points with Stephen Gray coming into this meeting. But a good start by Wayne McCauley, who is trying to get away, and in fact is getting away already in the opening stages of this 2nd race, round 8 of the 2016 championship. Milford though down in 3rd place. Kevin White's made a good start and he's up to 2nd as we watch the XR2. Stephen Gray chasing Jim Deans. Gray might potentially have a little bit more in the tank here, because in race number 1 of course he started down in 4th position. Now he's got a clear run at Jim Deans, and from the spectators' point of view it would be great if the pair of them go away with a win apiece and stay tied in the championship. And if it went like that to the end of the year, what a remarkable season it would have been. It's certainly been a terrific first half of the season for the STs and the XR2s. Both categories have had shared number of wins. But here's Barry Farquharson looking up the inside line of Ian Robertson, manages to go through. Gavin Butterworth will want to try and get past the ST as well. Remember, those two were dicing for the podium honours in race number 1, and Gavin Butterworth will want to do the same thing here, get past the ST if he can. The ST, of course, will be having a little bit more power and should go by. There we go, manages to get past, so a good move there by Liam Robertson, who goes back down the inside, uses the power of the ST, goes past the XR2, and now Gavin Butterworth has got a clear run once again at Barry Farquharson as we go back to the race leader. I'll tell you what, Kevin White is closing up, and we've got an issue here off circuit. Car number 57, Alec Townley, and also Graham Cuthbert, who look like they've had a coming together, and that's a very prone position. You can see how brave the marshals are. The cars are going through. Now all the drivers know there's a problem, but and of course there'll be heavily waved yellows there, but I suspect that this race is going to be stopped and we'll get a restart. But yeah, indeed, we've got the red flag to clear that incident. Sadly, Graham Cuthbert and Alec Townley both out of the race, so a major shame, but we're ready for the restart here. And looking at the back end of the field, the orange car of Robert Kerr about to take race number 2. Got a grandstand seat of everybody else in the race. Here we go then with Wayne McCauley on pole position in green, second bite of the cherry for him, and this time of course it's in race order, and that means that it's a front row start for Kevin White, who's having a good go at McCauley, but Wayne muscles his way down Duffer's Dip and takes the lead. It's going to have to be a charge from Chris Milford, who finished second in race number 1. So good clean restart by all concerned, and Milford's now got to try and come through and see if he can repeat second position. Kevin White, though, from his point of view, will be pleased that the lineup was in race positions, not original grid positions, because he had earned that second place. Through Clark Corner and coming into Hislops now, and then they'll head down in towards the hairpin for the first time, and it's Wayne McCauley still out front. We have got a challenge on for second. Chris Milford's going to the outside line. Number 7 car snaking quite heavily under braking, but holding on to second position. Still got Stephen Ward running there in 4th place at the moment, and they go up and over the hill with Wayne McCauley looking to add to his tally. It'll be a 5th win of the year if he can hold on to this. McCauley incidentally taking that fastest lap, as you heard, in race number 1, and a very quick time in race number 1. So here is the race leader, Wayne McCauley. Top 3 as they were in race number 1, but Kevin White now the main man challenging. This is what it was like earlier on in race number 1, so if we're going to see a repeat pattern, we might see Chris Milford start to get up to speed as the race continues. And great news that we're going to hear he's going to race in both categories for the rest of the year, so plenty of track time and experience for Chris. Still got Stephen Ward running in 4th position, and White getting closer and closer to Wayne McCauley here. Wayne's not got everything his own way as they go up the hill, and the Stirling-based driver chasing the man from Forfar. Here's Gavin Butterworth in car with him, still looking at the back end of Barry Farquharson, who's getting involved with Liam Robertson in car number 12, and this is very much frustrating Farquharson at the moment. Now, of course, the great thing about interclass racing is that the newer drivers in the faster classes do get to race with the more experienced faster drivers in the older classes, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with Liam Robertson in car number 12, and he's gaining experience for sure. You see he's got the new driver insignia on the car in the ST on the back. Ahead of him is Stephen Gray in car number 24, who's running in second position in the XR2s, and it's Jim Deans still out front at the moment in the leading the XR2s. Well, talking of Jim Deans, there he is, and we're now starting to see some really good progress by Liam Robertson, who's getting away from Barry Farquharson and Gavin Butterworth. But I need to ask a question, that's where's Stephen Gray in the mix? Can't see Stephen Gray anyway. Butterworth's going to have a look on the inside line of Farquharson. Meanwhile, the race leader of the XR2s has been passed, so Jim Dean's passed by the ST, and as you can see here, Liam Robertson's really getting to grips with this ST now and goes through, passes the man in the lead of the XR2s, and I can't see anywhere Stephen Gray. We'll have to keep our eyes open for the light blue car. So this is the battle for second position in the XR2s now. It looks like Barry Farquharson could be on for a podium, maybe even a second position. Remember, he's in the newcomers category. Wayne McCauley comes through the chicane with a very good lead, 3.5 seconds virtually over Kevin White, who's still in second, Chris Milford in third, and this has become a familiar sight here at Knockhill. A good lead from Wayne McCauley. White's still in second position, but it looks like Wayne's going to take a 5th win of the season and comes down into the hairpin for the last time, negotiates that safely. Kevin White will do so as well. Wayne McCauley with the fastest lap of this race as well. A couple of tenths slower than race number 1 for the best lap, but there it is, win number 5 for Wayne McCauley. Kevin White will take second. Chris Milford takes third place. Robert Kerr chases Gordon Haston across the line. Gordon 11th, Robert Kerr is in 12th place. Robert taking 6th position in class here up to the line. Look at this, and Liam Robertson gets the better of Stephen Ward to take 4th position. Cracking stuff from them. Jim Deans has won the XR2s from Gavin Butterworth, and Barry Farquharson with Stephen Gray down in 9th. So Gray losing out championship wise. So here's the result: McCauley, White, Milford, Robertson 4th from Stephen Ward. Jim Deans wins the XR2s from Gavin Butterworth and Barry Farquharson, then Stephen Gray and Ian Hart. Gordon Haston 11th from Robert
Wayne, yet
Kerr.
another win, unstoppable. I was expecting more from Kevin there. He's looking sheepish in the corner, but it didn't quite work from today. But a great drive from you.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised how well the car's been going today, to be honest. That's probably the best it's handled in a long time, and I'm surprised Kevin hasn't been taken past me, even in the first race as well, because it was so dry, you know. So I prefer the wet usually. So, but
This championship looks like it's going your way yet again. How many will that be? 4?
no, 3.
Still pretty.
Yeah. 3 in a row anyway. Yeah.
Good luck.
Right, thanks. Cheers.
Kevin White, second place. A disappointed face. You're trying to hide it there, but we normally expect a dominant win in the dry conditions from you.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened this weekend. I seem to have lost a wee bit of pace somewhere, so we'll need to try and find it. But the car felt good in testing yesterday, but seems to just lost a wee bit today, so see what happens.
Championship wise, it's going to take something pretty massive to turn this one around now. Wayne's consistent winning streaks just seems to be unbreakable at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen before, anything can happen, so we just need to keep going, see if we can get some more wins.
Good stuff, well done.
Cheers.
Jim, a productive day in the XR2 Championship, 2 wins, and that puts the championship 10 points to you.
Yes, aye, very good result in both races, thanks, yep.
Still a long way to go. What's this, the halfway point in the year?
I think it probably is, yeah. We're at Oulton Park away around in a couple of weeks' time, and then back here a couple of 2-3 weeks after that. So yeah, I think we're on a halfway point, yeah. So a long way to go, as you say.
But still a good day, a good haul of points today.
Aye, good place to be, yeah. Thanks. Yep.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, that brings today's action to a close from the Scottish Formula Fords and from the Scottish Fiestas, but some great racing we have seen all day long. Make sure you tune in next time for more action.